Well, hi. Didn't see you there. Hey guys, what's up? Good morning, good evening, good day, whatever time it is, whenever you're watching this, wherever you're watching this. No matter what, hi there. It's Josh again. Sorry, it's been a while since I've actually been able to upload or even film anything. College, personal matters, it's been kind of off for me for a little bit. I've had to, I had to find the right time to actually start, uploading some stuff. But anyway, what's up? today, today we're gonna be talking about some IGN stuff from IGN Fan Fest. Excuse me, what? IGN Fan Fest is what I meant, which happened like a week and a half ago, but we're still gonna talk about it anyway. And we're also gonna talk about, Godzilla vs Kong stuff. That's exciting, right? It's exciting. Anyway, we're gonna talk about the little interview that they had with Adam Wingard, the director of the film. We're gonna look at the clip that they released that particular day. I was there; it was fun. And we're gonna talk about that new behind the scenes video that they released yesterday, a couple days ago. I don't know when. The clip that was most recently released. We're gonna discuss that. First things first, we're gonna dive into not too in depth, but we're gonna dive into the little IGN Fan Fest interview that they had. Again, I'm really way off of this, and I'm very sorry that I'm late, but bear with me. We're gonna actually discuss 4 different topics that stuck out to me personally. So number one is if the fan enthusiasm is there, why would we want to stop? This was a little quote in response to, is this going to be the final film of the series? And when I heard that, I was like, well, there's your confirmation, guys. If they want to keep making movies, then they'll keep making them. Sorry, my hands are disappearing. Yeah, really cool. I mean, there's so many different directions you can go. I mean, if you really want to get people on board, understandably, people are more interested in human characters and human, things that are relatable, you know, Marvel, DC, rom-coms, basically anything involving humans. That's, typically people are more interested in that kind of thing. But at the same time, when you have monster characters, even though there's not a whole lot you can work off of in terms of popularity, there's a lot of lore that you can go into and a lot of different monsters that you can utilize to carry it forward. I mean, imagine a MonsterVerse movie that had the Rhedosaurus from Beast from 20,000 Fathoms. I would love that. And then also all the other characters that you haven't introduced from the Godzilla franchise. I mean, think about it. You have monsters like Anguirus, Manda, Kumanga, Destroya, which everyone's talking about right now, Mecha King Ghidorah. You have Space Godzilla. You have Gigan. You have King Caesar. You have Varan, Titanosaurus, Megaguirus, Orga, Baragon, Gorosaurus, Ebera, all these different characters that you haven't introduced into the MonsterVerse yet that you can still use, that you can build whole storylines off of, especially Destroya. And I don't know if many of you know, but there was an unutilized monster by the name of Bagan, whose little origin, I guess, in terms of films, or should I say scrapped films, goes all the way back to 1980 with the never finished resurrection of Godzilla. And it goes through different scripts like Mothra versus Bagan and Godzilla versus Bagan, all these different, films that he was supposed to appear in, but never got made. That is until he appeared in a little game called Super Godzilla for the Super Nintendo. And that's the one where pretty much everyone knows him from. In that game, he was an ancient monster who was enhanced via DNA combined, from Godzilla and King Ghidorah. Dude, think about it. Imagine the movie that we would get from that. Especially since the end credits of King of the Monsters had the whole thing of, not only are they making mechanized titans, Mecha Godzilla, um, they're also making organic titans. Maybe Biollante? Maybe. Maybe they could go in that direction. I don't know. But anyway, I just thought, with that being said, you could have so many different movies that can come from this. And whether people are on board or not, I think it would still be interesting and fresh. And especially since Adam Wingard mentioned, if you keep making movies, you could see more movies with like 30% humans, 70% monsters. That's nuts. And just the possibilities, man. But anyway, that's point number one. Moving on. Point number two was the question that was brought up asking, will there be any other characters returning? As we know so far, there are only two returning characters from the past movie. Millie Bobby Brown, who is Madison Russell, and Kyle Chandler, who's Mark Russell. So, father and daughter, that little relationship that they had in the last movie, which I like that relationship personally. I think I never watched Stranger Things, but I do think Millie Bobby Brown's cool. She cool. And Kyle Chandler, now that he's been in both a Kong and a Godzilla movie, I think it's about time for him to show up again in a crossover movie. Or should I say the rematch? The original movie still exists from 1962. This is technically a rematch for those of you who don't know. But that was an interesting question that was brought up because Adam said that there would be more characters returning, or at least from what it seemed like, he said that there'd be more characters returning, which is interesting because I believe he's referring to Eileen Chen from the last movie. And of course, there was Dr. Ling, who was her sister, which I believe that's what he's referring to. But of course, we'll just have to wait and see. I only say that because her name was on the cast list on IMDb, so you can't really deny that. So if she returns, if we can get that twin dynamic coming back, the Mothra twin dynamic coming back, I mean, maybe we can expect some more, not necessarily Mothra herself, but some more Mothra connections, some more Mothra, references at least. And of course, everyone was talking about, is Alan Jonah going to come back? I doubt that. I doubt he could, but I doubt it. You know, he's kind of getting up there with age. At least his character is. So I don't know. There's a possibility, but like I'm not gonna hold my breath for that. Some people were saying is Aaron Brooks gonna come back? Well, not some people. I was also thinking, is Aaron Brooks gonna come back? Who was um, what is his name? Corey Hawkins in Skull Island, and then it was Joe Morton in King of the Monsters. That's also up in the air. I mean, I can't say on that one either, but it'd be cool if he returned because he is a character that needs. I think he also has potential to have some kind of an arc in the MonsterVerse outside of the comic books, the graphic novels that got released for all these movies. So I mean, who knows? But I think it would be cool. Point number three. You're gonna see Godzilla do things that you've never seen him do before. This one got me the most. Mainly because I'm sitting here thinking, what the hell are we not seeing Godzilla do yet? We like my mind is blown on this one just because like I've heard leaks, I guess, of Godzilla doing physical things, like like on all fours, doing slashing with his claws, Wolverine style. I've heard possibilities of climbing on buildings, which is really hard to believe because he weighs like almost 100,000 tons. Kind of hard to believe that something that big can climb a building. Hard to believe that something like that could exist in the first place, but that's besides the point. The point is, like, we've seen him do so many things. We've seen him go from being a living magnet, like twisting Mechagodzilla's head off, to going full on atomic, nuclear pulse mode, i.e., burning Godzilla 95 and burning Godzilla 2019. We've seen, Shin Godzilla do, laser out of his tail, laser out of his, purple lasers out of his back, going from, smoke out of the mouth to igniting it to then changing it to a purple beam coming out of his mouth. Spiral Ray, the orange Spiral Ray, which kind of coincides with the whole burning Godzilla thing. Super Godzilla. He went like he kind of like he had that little extra mutation thing that he did with where he looked kind of like Space Godzilla, but he, more green and blue, I guess. Like we've seen him do a lot. So it's hard to think that there's still things that we haven't seen him do yet. Now I have heard a couple of the leaks before, like, the ones I just mentioned. And there's a couple other ones that I also heard were potential, but of course I'm not going to be sure until I see the movie. No one is. No one's going to be absolutely for sure if those leaks are correct until the movie comes out. So I'm not going to say what some of them are, but all I'll say is they sound legitimate. Sound pretty legitimate, but again, I'm not going to hold my breath too much. I'm just going to keep my mind open and wait for the movie to come out to see if some of those come true. You know, keep myself hyped up enough and open minded enough to, expect not have very many expectations. Expect it to be good, but not have too many expectations and not, necessarily knowing everything going into it already. You know. Point number 4. And another one of the more interesting points that was brought up during the interview was, you know, quote, it's definitely got some gory moments in it. Which seems pretty, it seems pretty standard for at least a modern Godzilla movie. Because the past couple movies we've seen pretty gory moments in them. Even in Kong Skull Island when he ripped the Skullcrawler's innards out through his mouth. And of course, when Godzilla slammed the Muto into the building, you know, did the kiss of death thing on the female Muto, ripped Ghidorah's heads off. You know, we've seen some fairly gory things leading up to this. But there was, that little thing where Adam Wingard mentioned the movie, the little independent film that he made called, what was it? Pop Skull, where, it's about a kid who, overdoses on Robitussin. And he said, there's like, the sequence in this movie that was inspired by a sequence from that movie involving, hallucinations and stuff. And I'm thinking that might come from Kong. I feel like Kong would be the one to hallucinate. But at the same time, it could also be Godzilla, considering the fact that if we're led to believe that Godzilla is, basically going, the whole Ghidorah is haunting Godzilla kind of thing, if that's what happens, then we might see something along the lines of that, where Godzilla is probably like, you know, ripping balls, seeing Ghidorah everywhere he goes. I think that would make a lot of sense. At least a lot more than Kong, because when I initially thought of it being Kong, I was like, well, it could be, he's on the boat and he's seeing things because he has that, those green canisters of like a sedative going into his neck, so he's probably just kind of seeing things. But either or, is potentially possible. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. But anyway, those are the 4 really big points that hit me, the ones that I thought were the most interesting. Now, let's watch that clip. Alrighty then. So, let's get to watching. I've seen this already, by the way, so I mean, it's not really. This is more for you guys. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Oh man. But yeah, you see this little guy's flying out from the boat. There he is. Now we have more content. Look at that. Ah, it's so good. It is so good. So, if you couldn't tell what was happening, it was basically, well, not if you couldn't tell, you could definitely tell. But anyway, that was, a little bit more context as to, what was happening through all of these different, TV spots that we've been getting, because a lot of that was just really jumbled editing. So, that at least gave a little bit more of a visual context as to what is going to happen throughout that whole scene, which, according to some sources, is an 18-minute scene. Understandably, there's going to be probably going to cut back and forth between humans and then Godzilla and Kong. However, it's still pretty exciting. Still exciting to see, just to hear that, just to be like, oh my god, the whole sequence is 18 minutes. Realistically, it wouldn't be 18 minutes long though. But hey, who cares about realism by this point? I know a lot of people do, but like, who really cares about realism by this point? But anyway, yeah, that at least. So yeah, Godzilla. So it's literally Godzilla. The anchor of the boat that he sliced in half. He slices 2 boats in half with his tail, with that nice Junkie XL Akira Ifukube inspired. It's not a direct rip from Akira Ifukube like Bear McFerry did the last time, which was awesome. But instead, it's, Junkie XL taking compositions that he had written when he was younger, and they're Akira Ifukube-esque, and he's including them in this film, making them sound as if they would belong in a Godzilla movie of the days of old. And then, the anchor. Oh my god, the anchor. The anchor clips onto Godzilla's tail, and he's dragging it underwater. Oh my god. And it came up because buoyancy, I guess. And Kong freaking out. So I mean, it's not really much to explain. I mean, that's what you saw is what you got. I mean, like, it's cool. Right. So that was that stuff. That was all the IGN stuff that I couldn't get to last time, or at least in a past video early enough to make. Now that we're all caught up, let's move on to some more recent footage. Let's break down that little behind the scenes, interview clip with, stuff. The clip that we got from the Godzilla vs Kong social media pages and see what we can find in those. All right. So this is the, I guess, quote unquote, it says final trailer, but it's really I guess, not a talk back, but like a sort of interview behind the scenes thing that all the cast members did and Adam Wingard himself, the director, did to promote the movie. So let's dive into it real quick. Watch it first.
These are dangerous times. We need Kong. The world needs him. Two of these classic monsters are going head to head. That's really so exciting.
It is a spectacle. It's unlike anything you've ever seen.
But the beauty of this particular story is the different storylines on every character.
He needs our help. There must be some way to disorient Godzilla.
You can look at the film as two separate stories that intersect eventually. Team Kong and Team Godzilla. Each human story is following the monster story as well.
We believe that they have an ancient rivalry. The myths say that their ancestors fought each other in a great war.
Team Kong, you have Alexander Skarsgård, Kaylee Hoddle, and Rebecca Hall. They're there really to support Kong and his fight with Godzilla.
The stakes are high and it's a very risky operation, but we have to go through with it.
All right, Mad Hatter. Down a rabbit hole.
On the other end of the journey, we have Team Godzilla, Millie Bobby Brown, Bryan Tyree Henry, and Gillian Dennison.
They're basically on this adventure to try find out why Godzilla is attacking.
They're trying to put two and two together to figure out why is this going on.
They're an amazing team. They complement each other so well.
To be a part of that team is great, just trying to figure out how to actually understand Godzilla rather than trying to destroy him.
I keep reaching for greatness because I'm built from it.
We always saw the movie as being separated between Team Godzilla and Team Kong, and that was exciting to me doing this movie.
Team Kong or Godzilla? I'm a Kong guy.
I don't know, I gotta root for Kong.
Hard for me to choose, but as a Japanese person, Godzilla.
I like King Kong because he's a giant monkey and monkeys are cool.
100% Team Kong.
I'm not picking sides.
You don't really want to pick a side? You kind of got to pick a side.
Team Godzilla.
Yeah. I love it. All right. So let's go back here. Oh my god. Some of the footage in this is amazing. Oh my god. So let's start from the beginning, shall we? Let's kind of go through this.
These are dangerous times. We need Kong. The world needs him.
Two of these classic monsters are going head to head. That's really so exciting.
It is a spectacle. It's unlike anything you've ever seen.
Even though technically we saw it in 1962. But hey, this is a completely different thing, right? It's the rematch. It's the rematch. Let's go. Anyway, moving on.
The beauty of this particular story is the different storylines on every character.
He needs our help. There must be some way to disorient Godzilla.
That always catches me off guard. I'm like, what? There must be some way to disorient him? Because she definitely didn't say destroy. She said disorient. By the way, I love these two shots cut back to back. So we start, right here with Kong. You got Kong's, big monkey, looking worried. King himself is looking a little worried here. Like, what's the matter, big boy King? Right? What's the matter? What's going on? I feel, I'm just as concerned as you are. What's going on, man? You all right? And then immediately cutting to this shot of Godzilla, which we saw in one of those TV spots from a couple weeks ago. I love a lot of people are saying it's a weird CGI shot. I love this shot personally. It's a great little shot. But anyway, I digress. Go back to what Rebecca Hall's character says. She says there must be some way to disorient Godzilla. Is there a way to disorient him? Really? Because I feel like he's already pretty disoriented as it is. If he's actually going out and destroying, especially Apex facilities, if he's going out and destroying some of those, along with, innocent civilians, attacking large cities like he usually does in most movies. It's just that this particular Godzilla hasn't actively been doing that before, which, like I said, is really cool now that we're getting a more antagonistic Godzilla, whether it's via mind manipulation or not. It's still cool. So, yeah, just a way to disorient him. It perplexes me, and it interests me. It's every time, what can you do? How can you disorient something who's potentially already disoriented to begin with? Or at least his perception of what he's seeing is You know, if he's seeing Ghidorah everywhere, he's probably already disoriented anyway. So, like, what's wrong, man? You good? You good, my guy? But anyway.
You can look at the film as two separate stories that intersect eventually. Team Kong and Team Godzilla. Each human story is...
Yeah, we kind of already suspected that. We've already gotten that. That was to be expected. And of course, the Kong team is mostly all new characters, whereas the Godzilla team is, you know, a couple characters we've already seen in the past. You know, Kyle Chandler, Madison Russell, or Millie Bobby Brown, I should say. Yeah, Kyle Chandler and Millie Bobby Brown. Those characters we've already seen, whereas, you know, a lot of this is a new cast for the most part. Weird considering that that's a lot of backstory they got to build up. I feel like they need to. That's the worrisome part, is the balance, because I know he's talking about, you know, having the balance between the humans and the monsters. When you have new human characters, that's a lot of new introductions you have to make. A lot of new backstories. As an actor, I'm wondering, how did these people have to come up with like their own little bios for all these characters? Like, I'm curious. I want to I'd like to know. Because, you know, when you're a thespian, that's one of the things you have to take into consideration is, you know, who your character is based off of past experiences. If you're not familiar with, you know, Stanislavski and, you know, the method, it's a lot of taking into consideration, you know, characters' past experiences, characters', you know, behaviors. It's a lot, you know, a lot of that goes into the method, and it's not just, you know, oh, keep yourself in the mindset of the character the entire time. It's like, you know, it's more complex than that. So I'm, you know, curious as to like how much homework the actors actually did to maintain character throughout the filming of the movie. Storylines they came up with for themselves. Anyway.
Is following the monster story as well.
We believe that they have an ancient rivalry. The myths say that their ancestors fought each other in a great war.
These close-up shots, man. Oh my god. Like, they're weird. It's like the way that they're shot is very bizarre, but they look great. Like, look at this.
Their ancestors fought each other in a great war.
Oh my god. Just holy crap. Every single TV spot we've gotten has better shots, you know, keeps going forward and has, you know, the shots in this movie seem to just keep getting better and better the more TV spots we're getting. I think the one of them roaring in each other's faces is my personal favorite, or the other one that got leaked. I'm not going to say what it is. That one might be my favorite. And it's a little, it's, if you know what I mean, like, if you've seen it, you know what I mean. It's a good shot, and it's, all I'm going to say is it's very, when I saw it, I kind of did see the connections with the 98 movie, the American 98 Matthew Broderick movie, at least the poster for that movie. That's all I'm going to say. When I saw that, oh my god. Again, I'm not gonna show it. I'm not gonna say what it is. I'm just gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it be, because holy crap. But anyway, moving on.
Team Kong, you have Alexander Skarsgård, Kaylee Hodel, and Rebecca Hall. They're there really to support Kong in his fight with Godzilla.
The stakes are high.
Oh, this shot. I've heard a couple of leaks about this shot. Again, not gonna say what it is because it's most likely is gonna be a spoiler. Again, keeping my mind open, going into the movie, you know, trying to have as a genuinely surprised, you know, not genuinely surprised, because like if you're getting into this leaks and stuff, that's obviously not gonna. Obviously, if you look into leaks, it's potentially gonna taint your overall first viewing of the movie. But as a personal fan, it doesn't really affect me. I'm personally not affected. But that's just me. But again, I have to keep my mind open and say the leaks for this particular shot seem pretty legit. but I'm not gonna hold my breath and be like, I'm gonna ruin this for myself. I'm not gonna like get down about it. I'm not gonna be a Debbie Downer about it, if you know what I mean. Yeah, it's an interesting little shot. He walks over and he's like, the way he looks when he's walking. Sorry, Alexander. You were great in Tarzan, and I'm assuming you were good in True Blood. I never watched that, but like, I just kind of thought the shot was funny. Just the way it, not necessarily what's happening in the scene, but just the way that he walks, the way that he kind of jolts forward. It was just kind of like, oh, he's still standing. Oh, he hasn't fallen down from whatever just happened back there. You know what it kind of reminds me of? It kind of reminds me of, oh my god, Connor McLeod, Christopher Lambert's character in Highlander at the very end, when he finally wins the prize and he becomes the ultimate like immortal. Like that's what this shot kind of reminded me of. Like just look at it, like look at it.
Picture high and
Just the way it kind of reminds me of that last shot when he finally wins. But anyway.
it's a very risky operation, but we have to go through with it.
All right, Matt.
He sounded like his character for a second. I was like, whoa, we need Kong. The world needs him. I mean, yeah, if you need Kong, then you need Kong. Usually people are like, oh yeah, Kong needs to die because he's on top of a building. Now it's like, oh, we need Kong. Then again, in the original movie, King Kong versus Godzilla, they needed him for, as a publicity stunt. And he just so happened to run across Godzilla, and they just so happened to like converge into one another at Mount Fuji. So I mean, I don't know if that counts. But anyway.
Down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, rabbit hole. That's all.
On the other end of the journey, we have Team Godzilla.
Oh, yes. Oh, my God.
Godzilla.
Oh, my God. Zilla. This shot, I know, looking at my screen, it's a little bit blurry. The pixelation's a little off, but that's just Wi-Fi. But, like, you look at this shot in HD, and holy crap. This shot is amazing. Especially just like the Hong Kong neon lights, just the red and the green, looking like Christmas over here, man. Look great. Just the intimidation factor is high with Godzilla now. I mean, dude. Anyway,
Millie Bobby Brown.
Okay, so Apex facility. I'm assuming Millie Bobby Brown looks like he's, along with her and Bryan Tyree Henry and Julian Dennison, it looks like this is the shot of them all in that dark, Apex facility. If you can see the next shot. Hold on.
Bryan Tyree Henry. And
yeah, these are all shots from, the same location.
Julian Dennison.
And they basically on the.
Okay, something I just really want to point out. The Defenders of the Faith shirt. Again, I love the Judas Priest trend he's going with. I'm actually wearing my Screaming for Vengeance shirt right now. So that's my dude. Man, Julian Dennison, can we be friends? If you love Judas Priest as much as I think you do, can we be friends? Can we just listen to one of their albums together? That'd be awesome. But anyway, going back on track.
This adventure to try find out why Godzilla is attacking.
They're trying to put two and two together to figure out why is this going on.
Yes. So that's their whole goal. It's like we got one side who's like, we need Kong because Godzilla's going on a rampage, and we just need him to we need him to get the axe. We need him to go on this big sword in the stone quest. Just to fulfill his ancestral destiny or whatever. And then we got the other side who's like, wait a minute, something's wrong with Godzilla. We know him. He's not right in the head. We gotta at least try to figure out what's happening with Godzilla, because this is not normal for him. So yeah, that's the two sides of the story that we're getting here, which I've always thought was cool. The idea of having two separate groups of human characters following opposite pathways alongside the monsters as they coincide with one another at the very end. That's a cool idea. It actually establishes the teams, the the two sides that eventually have to come together. Either, they fight at the very end, or at least there's some conflict there, at least on the monster side of things. On the human side of things, they're probably they're probably just going to talk it out. They're going to talk it out. The monsters are going to fight each other. And then big old Mecha G comes in, and then they gotta do whatever. I guess they just gotta do their thing because they're organic versus cybernetic. That's my guess. That's my ultimate guess. It's my final answer.
They're an amazing team. They complement each other so well.
To be a part of that team is great. Just trying to figure out how to actually understand Godzilla rather than trying to destroy him.
We love the Scooby Gang. I've heard that. High Flyers tag team. Shout out to you. Calls it the Scooby Gang, which I like because that's basically what they are. They're basically the trio, the Scooby trio. That trio dynamic that they have, I think will be goofy, but fun. It'll be fun.
Reaching for greatness because I'm built from.
We always saw the movie as being separated between Team Godzilla.
Wait, go back. You see the tail? You see the tail? Haha. If that doesn't confirm anything, I don't know what does. So, oh, Mecha G go burr.
Between Team Godzilla and Team Kong.
Oh, I like that. I like. Oh, what did you say her name was? I can't remember. Kaylee Huddle? I can't remember. But I like this. I like the idea of Kong using sign language, having that hyper intelligence, having that connection with the humans. It makes sense. I get it. People are making jokes about it, being like, "Oh, it's because monkey, because ape." It's like, but you think about it, it makes sense. What else? I know it would be interesting if they had that other human connection with Godzilla, because Godzilla is not human at all. He's not a mammal. So I mean, I don't know. I still think it makes sense to me personally, and I think this idea is cool just because Kong gets that extra edge in communication. He gets to have that sign language to his advantage when he's communicating with the humans. And I think that makes for a more interesting monster movie. If you really want more, better story, better connective tissue with everything that's happening, you do things like, sign language.
And Team Kong. And that was exciting to me doing this movie.
Team Kong or Godzilla?
Now we're just going to go through all of who's on Team Kong, who's on Team Godzilla. And then there's even the people who are in between. So we got.
I'm a Kong guy.
I don't know. I gotta root for Kong.
We got another Team Kong. Love this shot.
Hard for me to choose, but as a Japanese person, Godzilla.
Oh, Shunaguri. I think if this is his big Hollywood debut, I think you are right to be. You have the potential to be in so much more. In our Hollywood setting here, man. He has potential. I think he has potential to be in, outside of Godzilla and Kong and, anime and stuff. I think he has a lot of potential to be in some live action Hollywood blockbuster films. Even some dramatic films, I think he could probably pull off if he really wanted to. But of course, that's me saying that for every actor. So being an actor myself, that's just kind of something I say to my fellow that being actors. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Sorry, it's just so adorable.
I like King Kong.
No, there's the Juice Priest Defenders of the Faith shirt. Come on, man. What's your favorite song? Julian, what is your favorite song off that album? I want to know. But anyway.
King Kong, because he's a giant monkey.
I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. Monkeys. Monkey.
He's cool. 100% Team Kong.
I'm not picking sides.
Respect. I know it's I personally it's cool when you have the teams. I don't care. Anyone who's on Team Kong, I'm cool with. Anyone who's on Team Godzilla, I'm cool with. I am also cool with anyone who doesn't pick a team because that's what it's all about, man. That's what the kaiju genre is about. When you have two of the most famous, most iconic movie monsters, movie characters of all time going head to head in the ultimate Royal Rumble, it's hard to deny either one of them. It's like you can't really pick a side. So I got a lot of respect for her
You don't really want to pick a side?
and Bryan Tyree Henderson. Yeah, they both got the right idea. And even then, if you're not picking sides, you already know Team Mechagodzilla. Anyway,
You kind of got to pick a side.
Team Godzilla.
you have a closer connection with Godzilla because you were in the last movie. We got it. We love you, Millie Bobby Brown. We love you. Cinemas 2021. 2021. It's the year, guys. We are a few weeks away. It is nuts. It's nuts. But anyway, that was all of the recent stuff that we got. That was the IGN Fan Fest stuff that we got. And that was the recent past interview stuff that we got. So if we're not happy, I don't know what we should be because we have everything we want. And we don't really need any more necessarily, even though they're definitely going to give us more because marketing. But anyway, either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Go check out my other videos if you haven't. I'm still, again, personal family matters have gotten in the way. College has gotten in the way, and also a little bit of laziness, to be honest. Yeah, quarantine does things to you. But anyway, I promise I will get to the Shin Ultraman stuff. That'll probably be a really short video. And then I'll get to the Mortal Kombat reaction, the trailer reaction. My brother Tyler, because we're both really big Mortal Kombat fans, so why not? But anyway, we'll get to those in a little bit. That'll be the next two videos I post. Hopefully the next two, if nothing else comes out. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you want, like if you want, dislike if you want, do whatever you want. I don't really care. But anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Mr. Penrod signing out. Sayonara.